Hello again, Internet. As I'm sure most of you are already aware, money costs a lot more than it used to, which is always a pain. Now, to try to offset the increasing cost of money, I'm looking on the internet for a bunch of things that I could potentially stop using. But apparently, all the things that increase in costs are the things that you need. So I'm gonna play Farmville. So to start this project out, what I ended up doing is looking around my yard for potential available food sources. And it was pretty quick that I found something was trying to get into my yard, and that's when it hit me. I could be trapping. I can get food from the animal that is coming into my yard and trying to do stuff. With the help of my two trusty sidekicks, I started setting up a relatively simple trap. Just a little thing, a little box with a stick and a little bit of a bait, which Cheeseburger just, she was ready to eat that. It should work simple enough. The little animal's gonna come through. It's gonna go and try and take the berry. It's gonna roll to the right, trying to get away from the dog. The dog's gonna bark, then knocking over the... Oh, he's eating it. But like I said, animal comes in, wham, caught. Easy peasies. And I knew it would work because Cheeseburger kept trying to steal the berries that were in the compost pile. And surprisingly, this method worked really well. It wasn't long before I was coming back and checking it every couple of days, and bam, we had something in there. Now, the first catch was kind of small, but it was healthy. But even the dogs knew that the next catch was something way, way more important. Chicken Nugget rushed over as fast as he could because he knew he had to get it open. And I was actually surprised myself. I didn't realize that we had these native to the area. Just so delicious, so incredibly tasty. But the problem that I was running into is the food that I caught was really difficult to prepare, clean, cook, and make into an actual meal. I put it on the stove, I started trying to figure out different things, and it just, no matter what I did, it just didn't seem to work out. Which brings us to Farmville. So the build is essentially using the crocky method. It's a little bit different. We're taking an existing AeroGarden system and trying to put it into something that's kind of in a tower platform. I cut out 2-inch holes, which is the size of the 3D printed insert that I made for it, using this random bucket that I got off of Amazon. And the print actually fit relatively well. The goal is to have something that you can just pop an existing AeroPod into and be able to get that in and out without having to worry about too much, and then also have an increased amount of space that you can put the different plants into. And it fit pretty well. It looked like it was coming together. And then I came home one day, and my dogs had broken out of their cage again. Naturally, they destroyed everything I'd worked on, so we get started with something new. And honestly, I should have started with this in the first place. There's a significantly larger amount of room, there's a lot more surface area on the front of it to actually build off of. And I have some. Now, making this really was the same exact thing as what we'd already done. I took the existing piece, I made some... I did checking on the hole saw to make sure that I had something that was going to fit exactly. I believe it was 2 inches. I think I did it for 2 inches. I can't remember. I did this. This was not right now. This is previous days. But take all the saw apart, did the sawing things, and pull saw into the. God, that's loud. After I cut all the 3D printed holes, I reinforced the hanging portion with the wire, and by reinforce I mean replace. After that, I made a little hole so it's easier to add more solution and water to the top of this thing. My original intent for this was I was going to make it into a hanging garden that actually would grow downwards. The good news, though, is all of the different 3D printed inserts fit pretty well. The portions around the corners kind of didn't fit properly. They started to butt into each other, which was a design flaw on my part. I could have potentially staggered them, but I wanted to make sure that the inserted AeroGarden things all had enough distance to actually get water out of the solution, out of the bottom. And it fit pretty nice. Putting everything together, it seemed like something that was going to come together, potentially make me food. But it held together. It held water. It wasn't going to start leaking. Well, it hasn't started leaking yet. I hung it up and started putting different seeds into each of the different pods. I was hoping that I was going to be able to hang a light fixture underneath it and actually get it to start propagating. I started out with the light fixture above it just to make sure I was getting light into each of the different portions, which honestly at this point I don't believe that I'm not a science doctor, so I don't know like what's all needed, but either way I ended up getting the light fixture up, which didn't really end up doing anything. It it worked for the seedlings. It, you know, gave them an opportunity to actually sprout, which again, I don't know enough about the plants that I was planting to know if it was necessary. But once I got it up there, I turned everything on, got it into positions that hopefully it was kind of shining light at each of the different plants, and it's like I said, it worked enough to get stuff, you know, started. And it felt pretty cool. It looked like something that actually was going to, you know, be useful. It was fun to come in each day and look at the plants and see whether or not anything had sprouted. The adjustments that I did here really did not seem to make a difference. Even on the camera you can tell the light is really not being directed any differently. I'm just fidgeting thinking it's going to get better. But it was sprouting. After a couple of days, you got little teeny tiny sprouts that were coming out. But it was very obvious very quickly that there was not enough light in the location. The plants were just doing poorly. They were trying to go in all kinds of different directions, so I ended up pulling it out and bringing it outside. The goal was to have it so that there's no animals or anything, no bugs that could get into it, but sometimes you just gotta take stuff outside. The light from the sun is a lot more big, strong. Once I got up the stairs, I had to check on my hot dogs because they were lunchtime. Shit. Yeah, hot dog. Poke. Poke. Once I got the plants outside, that was pretty much it. They definitely did better after being outside. I did a couple more adjustments and took the plants, made sure they were facing the front. But it's immediately obvious just how much better they were doing. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to try and extend this any longer than it needs to be. I have the files if anyone is interested in them. I'm not particularly thrilled with this. I think I'm going to do another build probably relatively soon. I'll give you guys an update on what the plants look like as well. But if you guys want the files, let me know. And like and subscribe.